It's a very unique concept. I mean, I haven't seen anything like what you guys do anywhere else. I love the name too. How do you come up with Drive way back then?
Oh, I mean, drive is drive.
Right,
right?
Drive is Drive. But how did you guys pinpoint that? Were there any options, or was it just
no,
Drive?
so
That's it.
At the time, we had to make a decision what we were going to do. Deciding to create this business took a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And more importantly, I think more than heart was you had to have the drive to be willing to take that to the next level.
Yeah.
It wasn't about, we knew the product would work. We beta tested it. We went through it ourselves for years and years and years. It was like, okay, at this age, this is going to work really well, but we had to have enough drive to be able to push the product.
Yeah.
It was our drive really to be able to say, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to get this here. And it's just a matter of allowing people to feel the same way. It works. It works. The product works, and it's long term. There's no one in sport, that's played sports that go into their 40s and 50s and their bodies are 100%. Right. They're broke.
Yeah.
Because the way that we trained before was just you beat down on the body. We offer such a wide variety of different options, from training in the heat to training and not in the heat. There's reasons for everything that we do. And it's long term. Yeah. These members have been here with us forever.
Yeah, actually, I was going to tell you earlier on when you were talking about Methuen, my sister and her husband have been with you guys since then, Colleen and Jim Byron.
Oh, yeah, we know
yes.
well.
Yeah. Because I remember her talking to me about it way back.
Yeah.
And then talking about you guys moving to the Coke building. And now here you are. It's like, it's unbelievable. So like, without knowing a whole lot about you, I kind of knew a little bit about you for quite a while.
Yeah, we got so many like long-term members, and I think that's really, one of the keys to success at Drive is the results are long-term.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really all about a healthy, balanced, sustainable lifestyle.
Right.
Right. And that's what it delivers when you can bring in the mind-body element, the cardiovascular element, the nutrition element, the weight training, and you can put it all together. That's where sustainability comes in. And there's a sense of so much variety in the building and in a Drive that there's so much variation.
Yeah.
So the way we designed the new Drive was
let's talk about the new building.
Let's go.
I was in there. That place is incredible.
It's a spaceship.
That place is incredible.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like no building I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And I was only in there for a few minutes the other day. I can't wait to come back and get like the full tour and go through it.
We'll bring you through.
Maybe get myself working out.
I think by the time we get done this podcast, you're going to be training.
We already got you as trainer and everything. You're good.
I was already talking about it. After I was telling you the other day when I was talking to my wife about it, and she's a big runner. She's like a fitness freak, and she's like, I'll go in there with you. I'll go down. So
we already got you set up.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah, so
that's what I was going to ask you, right? So somebody wants to come in, right?
Yep.
People sometimes get intimidated by these places. Yeah. You know what I mean? They walk in the door. What's the start? Is it like a consultative approach? How does it?
So it's interesting that you just bring that up.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is as fresh can be. Okay, last night I was on my way out of the gym, and I went by the cafe just to grab a shake for my ride home. And there was a woman in there, and I could see that she was intimidated.
Yeah.
And she was in the lobby. So I approached her. I said, "Can I help you?" She said, "I'm here for a tour, and I'm going to check out Drive." And I could see that she was really nervous. I sat her down. I spent about 15 minutes with her, just talking to her, trying to make her comfortable. And that's something that we always did, right? Like in going back to Methuen, the office was like right at the front door. So everybody that came in saw Jake or Tony.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we were able to connect with them. So as you get larger and larger, sometimes it gets a little bit more difficult. We have great people
you can only do so much, and you can't be there with everyone.
Right. But I just happened to see her, talked with her, and then the team came down about 15 minutes later. They gave her a tour and they set her up.
Yep.
I reached out to the team last night and I said, "Hey, what happened with this individual? How do we end up?" And the team told us that she was signed up. She was in the 9:10 this morning, so she's probably just getting out of class now.
Awesome.
So at 9:10, I put it in my calendar, and I went downstairs to meet her prior to her class. We introduced her to her instructor. Her instructor spent 15 minutes before class, before check-in actually, and showed her the ropes. And on our way to the podcast, we took a walk through the turf. The bay doors were open outside, as they typically are. And I saw her on a bike, and I just went over to her and looked at her and said, "Hey, how you doing?" She gave me the thumbs up.
That's great.
You could see the energy. You could see she felt great, and then we're gonna follow up with her again. And so, that's the key. Is putting the time in to understand our individuals, to understand the client's needs, the members. What are they looking for? What do they need? Because everybody has a different story.
Absolutely.
So understanding those stories, I think, is
100%. Jake's
important.
like right on the. We tell all our instructors, all our staff is we have to be able to get a good reading on an individual from the first second they walk into the gym. You mentioned when you came in the other day, I need to get back into it, so on and so forth. I listened to you talk to a couple of the individuals that were standing there. Talked about your building. We talked about the growth.
Yep.
You talked about your employees. You talked about how busy you are. But you talked about cutting back. I've already run through my trainers and said, okay, based off schedule, based off energy, I read what you are offering at that moment. And it's like, okay, he's going to be a good fit with this individual. He's going to work here with his schedule. And that's really the thing, as Jake said. This lady was nervous.
Yeah.
Make sure that first experience is the best experience. Put a little bit of time, just as you do with your business. I need to know what the individual really needs. I can offer them and get them here, or we need to get them to this point. It's daily. It's daily. In our staff, we do a lot of training with our staff to be able to understand that.
Yeah, it's so funny because I think that's transferable in almost every business.
Yeah.
Like if somebody calls me and they want to buy a house, I'm taking a good half an hour with them just to understand what their goals are, what they want, how we can structure it. The same thing you said, like what their whole entire situation is, their whole picture, so I can figure out what's best for them or help them figure out what's best for them.
100%.
And I think in a gym setting, that's something that's unique that most places don't offer. It's like, oh, you come in, you signed up, go.
Yeah.
And that's you just nailed it, right? So you walk into a big box gym, I want to sign up. They're like, okay, great. Here's your key tag.
Right, that's it.
See you later. So then there you are. You take your key tag. You walk in. You scan your key tag. You walk in, and there's this big, 80,000 square foot, 50,000 square foot box. Tons of treadmills.
Yeah.
Tons of machines that nobody understands how to use, by the way. Right. And then you're just lost. And then you end up spending 90 minutes walking around the gym trying to figure out how to do shit.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you burned no calories. Right. And then most of the time you end up just talking to somebody, and not doing
Either
work.
that too. Or I've been in the gyms before, and people don't know how to lift. They don't know what they're doing. If anything, I've looked at people and I'm like, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need some guidance, some direction.
That's where Synergy comes in, right? Synergy is our all resistance program.
Yeah, tell us about your classes, so people can understand that.
Yeah.
So tell Synergy.
So I'll start with Synergy, right?
Yeah.
So Synergy is a resistance-based program.
Okay.
You walk into Drive, there's this big cafe and there's a big glass, and right through the glass, there's our weight training program.
Yep.
Everybody gets an individual space. You get your own bench, you get your own set of dumbbells,
Yep.
and it's instructor-led, right? So there's a personal trainer right at the front of the room guiding you through a 55-minute resistance program. And it could be a full body, it could be a lower focus. Every single day,
Yep.
there's a different program in that room, whether it's a variation of tempo or exercises or isolation or whatever it is. And not only is it every day of the week that the program is different, but every day of the year the program is different. So you'll never get the same program at Drive. So that's the resistance space. And if you look around the room, you'll see screens that have the workouts guided for
Yep.
you. So if you're a little bit more advanced and you kind of want to take your workout in a different direction, you could still take your workout in a different direction.
Okay.
If you are a little bit newer and the languaging might seem a little bit different for you,
Yeah.
you're going to be guided through it. So again, there's a little something for everything. If you want a heavier weight, we have those, right? If you want a lighter weight, we have those.
You can always modify.
You can modify everything. Everything at Drive really is modifiable. So again, Synergy is our resistance-based programming. So if you want to lift, if you want to just train
Yep.
and do resistance work, that's the spot for you. But we don't recommend you do that every day.
No, I mean, like we said before, there's so much to offer. We have a heated zone. We have really just an interval zone, which we'll call it our KO and our C2S are really just interval-based training.
Okay.
It's
Like
cardio-
circuit training?
you could say a little bit of circuit training, but you're in your own space. You
Okay,
have
yeah,
your
right,
dumbbells,
okay,
you
yeah.
have your bands, you have cardio pieces, and I guess it's taking the heart rate from one elevation to another.
Yep.
And when you do that repeated times over and over again, what happens is you create a long-term effect from that burn. Your metabolism gets refired up, energies get reestablished. Now, a program that might take 600 calories a burn, that's going to equate to about 900 to the end of the day. Those are interval based.
Right,
That's
to keep burning.
It's just a long-term burn.
You would say that's C2S?
So C2S and KO are going to give you good interval training. Which
KO I got. What does C2S stand for?
C2S is cardio to strength.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really simple.
Okay, yeah.
That's going to be a little bit more functional or a little bit more power cardio movements. You're going to
Okay.
see treads, you're going to see ski ergs, you're going to see rowers, air bikes.
I
where
fucking hate the assault bike.
yeah, we give you just a little bit of
That's a
taste,
nightmare.
right? But I guess the biggest, most important thing is you have that balance. You know, we originally, when we originally came up with these programs, a lot of it was based off preseason training.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it in college when I would recruit these kids, they would come in. The first thing they would have 3 weeks of preseason. And what did we focus on? One, we focus on nutrition, getting the kids back. You focus on conditioning, cardiovascular training. You focus on their strength training, and you focus on their mobility work. Why? To get them in shape, a small duration of time. Now, anything that's overdone, if I weight trained every single day, it becomes too joint impact, long-term effect.
Sure.
The same way we feel a lot of times with our bodies, right? We
Right.
train too long in the same fashion. So creating just a dynamic group of programming allows just a major output. That's why we don't see any injuries. That's why we see members well into their 60s and 70s that drive. On top of it, we have pro athletes that go there.
That's awesome.
So all the different programs are so dynamic. They're so just amazing. And our heated zone, I'll let Jake talk a little bit about that. The offering there just is amazing. So you want to
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that before we get into the heated stuff, you know, the programs always evolve at Drive, right? I mean, that's kind of what we do. Is we created a great format that everybody knows and loves, but at the same time, behind the scenes, we're always thinking about new ways to deliver fitness concepts.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do. That's what Drive does. So when Tony and I are having those bourbons on the beach,
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about.